Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. We're going to take a quick look at Hedera Hashgraph. And just before we do, we usually look at Bitcoin, but I can summarize it quite quickly. We're stuck right around 47,000. Potential resistance there. We are below the 200-day simple moving average on the one-day chart. It's not the greatest scenario overall. We really just need to be able to break 48, 49,000, start making some higher highs in order to get out of this downward channel. But we're pretty much stuck on stupid, moving our way down through the ranks. So 42,000 will be the next major support level, just so you're aware. And before we jump into Hbar here, just so you're aware here, I'm not a financial advisor, right? I just love teaching people how to trade. So know that this is my passion, but also my full-time job. And I like helping you become better traders. I've always been passionate about, helping people be financially stable. Okay. So that being said, consider joining my patron community for now. And when I say for now, we're transitioning to a website because I'm rolling out with the Trading Academy next month, as a matter of fact, to ensure that everyone's able to get up to speed on track as fast as possible. So that's mainly for my members, but also future members too. So consider joining that if you find benefit here today. If not, that's okay too. Just watch as many videos as you can of mine, and you'll learn my trading style eventually, right? So just note that I try to explain everything as I go along, and I'll do the same thing here today. And looking at Hbar, first and foremost, we can see that we've got a potential rejection here at about 31 cents. So the price came all the way up to 31, essentially rejected out. We've got a price target, basically a profit target at 32 cents as a community. So we'll be able to see if that happens here soon. But ultimately, what we want to look at is some of the key indicators. So we got the 200-day simple moving average, worked as a resistance for 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and now today it finally broke. Now, granted, this one-day candlestick hasn't closed yet. We got about an hour and a half left in our trading cycle, but it's very likely we're going to see the price action stay above, and that's a good sign. So that should work as a catalyst to continue to push the price action up. Hbar has a tendency of having larger candle wicks, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more of a retracement. But all in all, looking very good here for the moment. Okay, so great stuff there. We are peaking up over 60 right now, so it's awesome because anything over 50 essentially provides us with a potential for bullish sentiment. In other words, bearish sentiment is waning, essentially going to the side, where we got that bullish convergence, so to speak. We also had a MACD convergence day before yesterday, so it's equally as beneficial, showing us that the bulls are more so in control. And that would have been a really good entry point. Obviously, hindsight I know is 2020. So taking a look here at the 4-hour, you can see we're kind of also getting stopped out of the 200-day simple moving average. So it'll be interesting to see how the price performs over the next 48 hours, just based on the fact that is essentially working as a potential strong resistance level. Okay, that's generally the case. Now looking at the 50 days working as a strong support level as well, so it should inevitably give us the golden cross, which is ultimately the best case scenario. In other words, when the 50 intersects with a 200 in an upward fashion, it's very similar to MACD convergence on the 4-hour chart, for example. In this case, we got a 4-hour 50 intersecting with a 200. That could happen in the next 4 trading days. Okay, so it hasn't happened yet, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times the anticipation of getting there will drive the price up inevitably. Keep in mind, Bitcoin has had a little bit of say in this, as it does with everything, of course, but Hbar is performing much better, tremendously better than Bitcoin, and does look like it's kind of marching to the beat of its own drum for the moment. Okay, again, pending Bitcoin doesn't hit 42,000 in 24 hours or less, a nice 10% decrease, then we're going to probably see Hbar successfully continue on this path. Speaking of path, let's take a look and see where we're at here. We're at a 6 on TD sequential. Now this is good because we're bouncing off of an 8 off the 50-day simple moving average. That kind of worked as a strong support level concurrent with this line here, basically just telling us that we have about somewhere in the range of 12 to 48 hours worth of bullish continuation. Now that may not continue that way because we got a 200-day simple moving average and a major resistance on the Fibonacci retracement level at 31 cents. There's a good chance we might see some consolidation before it breaks to the upside. A lot of times coins like this will continue to test that resistance and eventually break. In other words, the bulls are kind of trying to push the price action higher. The bears are saying we don't want to go any higher, and there's kind of this contention, so to speak. Once the bears, the selling pressure from the bears recedes rather, then the bulls can reside and continue the push up. So it's a really interesting theory or concept when you just kind of think of bulls versus bears and how they're kind of fighting for a certain price action. Inevitably, one or the other side will give up and allow the other to win. Right now, we have a little bit left in the tank, so to speak, whereas this continuation is still new enough where we don't expect the price to just turn around immediately because of this, right? So that's a good sign. In other words, we should continue to see a continuation, or we have potential for that rather. Not necessarily we should, but we could in that sense. It's more likely than not to happen, if that makes any sense. Furthermore, too, if you look here as well with the previous price action, we got up to a 9, obviously, and then we kind of got this reset up to another 9. So we've had 2 pushes on the 1 hour chart from 1 to 9, essentially. So that's good, but just note that with us being the price action overextended right now, that is kind of telling us that we're outside those standard deviation lines and that we should expect the price to retrace. In other words, we look at the volume weight average price, we can see that the price is testing that higher level, which isn't bad. It's just really telling us that we are ultimately above a major support level, which is good. But if we go much higher, then we're going to have a greater chance of coming back down. So what we want to see right now is a good, I would say 4, 8, 12 hours to consolidate right where the price is at before the next leg up. And that's ultimately what we want to see on the 4-hour chart anyways, get that reset on TD sequential and just get it to push up even higher. So all in all, this has very healthy continuation patterns. Even though we're slightly on the overextended side, we can see this kind of staircase pattern, which is really what I like to look for. I try to teach this to my community members all the time that, you know, a good healthy continuation will have a moment to breathe, right? So think about like running marathons. If you're going to run a marathon, it's going to be helpful to take a break in between, right? That's why marathons are so difficult, because you got to consistently do a bunch of different things in a row. Well, think about a coin running a marathon. Is it going to be tired afterwards? Is it going to want to relax? And, you know, the bears are going to want to take their profits? Yeah, of course. That's very natural. However, say you have a marathon that allows you to take an hour break in between each leg or whatever it's referred to as, then you're going to have a potential to have greater results because you have a chance to relax. Price gets a chance to relax when you see this sideways action in this, you know, the staircase patterns, right? So that's why if you hear anybody else saying, you know, to the moon, parabolic, that's bullshit. I'm sorry to speak it so clearly, but we don't want that to happen. You see that happen, it turns right back around. And it does nobody any good, because oftentimes you can very rarely sell at the highest point and buy at the lowest. Why not have a nice slow continuation so we all build our portfolio equally? I don't know. Call me a dreamer, but I like it when the price moves consistent and not sporadic. Just note also too, Hbar has a tendency of being fairly sporadic. In its history, it has very large candle wicks, so we see very significant retracements. Therefore, if you see this here, right, as an example, that came down about 50% of its original starting point. So with that same mindset in place, we could see a 50% correction from Hbar to come as low as about 25. Worst case scenario, or no, sorry, I misspoke, 28 to 27. We could see a correction down to 28 and 27 cents, just based on the natural ways in which it has a correction. Because I don't know why, but Hbar is a pain to day trade, just because it shoots up fairly fast, it shoots down fairly fast, has really large candle wicks. So just be mindful of that. It's not a problem if Hbar comes down to 27 or 28 cents. The key is that it stays above this major support level of 27 and makes higher highs and higher lows. So this next low should be somewhere around here, which is perfectly fine, right? The price comes down, comes up, and then it breaks its all-time, well, not all-time high, sorry, the most recent high, of course, and makes higher highs and continues upwards. And we take our profit as a community and set a new one, right? Always set 3 profit targets and consider a stop loss if you're not swing trading. All right, that's about all I have for you here today. I hope it made some sense here. Oh wait, one last thing. I'm sorry. Let's do one last thing. I want to kind of give you an idea of where this could go if it continues back upwards. Because again, right at November 12th, that was no less than 6 days ago, the price action was as high as 47 cents. Okay, so are we going to see 47 cents again? Absolutely. Yeah, honestly, there's really no doubt in my mind that we're going to see that. Hbar has tremendous potential long term. So if you're going to consider hodling a coin, this is a good one to do so. And even short-term swing trades. So we have profit targets set all along these Fibonacci retracement levels, and I'm confident we're going to hit all of them based on its history and how well it can perform. It just, again, it's going to have some peaks and valleys. You got to be ready for that. These are very large candle wicks, and it happens. So just set your profit targets, make sure you're on there. I would say within, because how low it went, what it was, actually, I think I misspoke earlier. It's November 12th, not December 12th. So this isn't 6 days of trading. This was essentially, 5 weeks worth of trading. So in 5 weeks, the price has come all the way down to 20 cents, or 21 cents rather, and now it's back up to almost 30. So you got to kind of think about this. Is it going to hit 47? Yes, but it won't do that tomorrow. Okay, so just be real. I would say a week or two is probably a better case scenario for it to hit that point. But ultimately, we want it to take about another month to get there. I know it sounds weird and crazy, but again, healthy patterns, healthy continuation, return on investment. That's what it boils down to. So that's what we're looking for there. I would say 1 month for its most recent high of 48 cents is a round number, but 32 cents as a profit target for our community very, very soon. We're going to see that happen soon. I would just expect another dip before it rounds back up again. All right, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Look forward to seeing the next video. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you.